everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to the Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller. Hope you all are having a good one out there so far. Sorry, of course, we did not come to you live last week. Basically, because we initially planned one, and then, of course, we realized, it's Black Friday, and I had to work a little bit extra. So there you go. But anyway, so hope you guys are having a wonderful one out there so far. I got Seth here, but he is. Are you with me, Seth?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, my camera is being weird. I'm trying to switch it to the other one. So we'll give me just a second here. I'm having some technical difficulties. My whole graphic driver crashed and.
Yeah. I know. It's like I said right before the show, all of a sudden Seth started going 8-bit, and we're like, what's going on here? So, Seth is having some technical difficulties, but he will still be with us in progress here. But at least we can hear your golden tones, and that is okay. So aside from all this, how are you doing, brother? Oh, and he's gone. All right, never mind. All right, well, he's getting his stuff fixed up. But anyway, I hope everybody had a really good Thanksgiving out there. Basically had a nice, wonderful holiday weekend and good Black Friday. Seth, of course, was over at the house with Michelle and I, and we had ourselves another wonderful meal as well, because, Michelle just always just does a dynamite job. So, we had a great time out there. And then, of course, Black Friday on Whatnot, which, of course, that's my day job, working at Collaborative Comics. There was a 0% commission they were doing on Whatnot. So essentially 100% of the money that I made on the show, the store came back to the store, and Whatnot didn't get any of it. So we were definitely going to take advantage of that. So I ended up working 3 shows that night. So I did one. Let's say I did 11 a.m., a 4 p.m., and then an 8 p.m. show, all 3 streams on Whatnot there. So, I was working my butt off. I was there till a little over 11 o'clock that night. So, basically, but it didn't hit me until literally by the time I got home and sat down. I was like, oh, God. But anywho, I still have not got to see Predator Badlands yet, and I'm kicking myself for that. Hopefully this weekend I might be able to get to do that here. But one thing I'm very excited about that, of course, Seth, myself, and the rest of the Horsemen get to do on Sunday. As you guys may be well aware, Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, is releasing in a kind of limited run in theaters, and it's basically both movies combined, essentially as it should be, with extra footage inside as well. So, the boys are really, really looking forward to that one. Cannot wait for that, because this is literally how Tarantino envisioned the movie itself. We will see how this goes here. I'm looking very forward to it. But anywho, I'm trying to think what else is going on. Oh, of course, one definite thing here. Actually, I might wait for Seth to come on here about this one. How's the camera thing going?
I can still hear you. Okay, well, at least you can hear me. I can't even switch over to my regular web camera, so I'm going to do a full restart real quick.
Okay.
So just give me about 5 minutes, and I should be back. Sorry, folks.
All right. I will ask questions later, and we'll get to the stuff. But I will go ahead and do my comic book reviews here. So.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. All right. I will be right back.
You got it. I was in a bit. All right, there we go. So, see, now we're going to tap dance here. But anyway, so we're going to get to our comic reviews first here. And of course, Seth normally plays the game of, are there any Batman comics this week? And the answer this week is actually no, there are no Batman comics. I don't have a single DC or Marvel comic in my pack this week here. Now, of course, I did have some, but this week was a really light week. So I actually only had 8 books in my pull list, which is extremely small for me. And normally I've got at least 10, if not more. Sometimes I've had 20. I think this week I'm going to have 18. So normally the first week of the month hits you big, but they didn't do it this week. They did it the second week of the month. So week 2 of December is going to be an expensive week for me here. But anywho, But yeah, my 4 polls this week I really want to talk about are all indie stuff here. So I've got 3 Image comics and actually 1 from Bad Idea to talk about. So first up, I got to talk about Giant Size Criminal #1. Brubaker and Phillips coming back to their very hard-boiled, noir crime, but modern day sort of stuff like that. But just absolutely, if you love your pulp crime stuff here, this is awesome. Of course, Criminal's been around for a long time. They've had multiple volumes. You can find them in trade paperbacks. It's been around for quite some time. But then they've got this new giant size format, which essentially is kind of like a primer for people because if you're not aware, they're shopping around. They haven't landed a network yet, but Brubaker and Phillips were showrunners for a actual streaming series based off the Criminal comic. And it's going to be like at least the first couple of volumes, so you do get like both the Lawless brothers and some of the other characters that have been kind of throughout various volumes of the Criminal series. I think they even touch on the dad as well. So yeah, so there's some cool stuff ahead for the world of Criminal. Oh, and you're back.
Hopefully.
Well, looking and sounding good. So there you are, sir.
Well, good.
Well, howdy. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Now I had to pull up my links again from earlier, so I will be here though.
All righty. So yeah, of course, I briefly discussed Thanksgiving. Of course, we had ourselves a wonderful time, even though we were on tape for Friday night.
Yeah.
I talked about my Black Friday exploits of doing 3 shows and working my ass off. So
because you are a mad retail employee that can sell some comic books to people.
I'm a mad retail employee that can sell some comic books to people. Yeah. Yeah. So, or somebody, one of my regulars today called me the hardest working man in comic books. I'm like, okay, well, I don't actually. All I do is sell comics. I don't make comics
Well, you are in the comic book industry, though.
True.
Yeah, and it's like more so than in the way that like when the Cinemark movie theaters are like, come get a job at our theater, and you're in the movie business. Like it's more so than that. So,
but basically, when you're in the theater business, though, you're in the showcase aspect of it because there's all the money and the whatever else that brings it, all together. But it really comes down to showing it in a movie theater for people, and what do they think? Are they going to come back a second time and see it? Are they going to bring their kids the next time? They're going to tell their friends and neighbors. Or nowadays are they going to get on social media about it? Kind of shit like that.
Right.
Will they spend $10 for a small popcorn? It's like, come on. So it's like, the showcase aspect of movies, I think, is one of the most important aspects and vastly overlooked because the general public doesn't see the movie. They see maybe a little bit of the movie making and the promotional stuff, but really what it comes down to is they know the movie's out, they go and see it in the theaters, and there you go.
And now you see, I'm actually this might even be a good topic for a whole show, but like with that whole announcement about Netflix and Warner Brothers merging,
I was going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, what that's going to do the whole cinematic experience, right? Because I'm of the whole mindset that the cinematic experience has been dead for about 20 years now, and it's mainly with the advent of digital projection, because it's nothing that you can't really replicate at home with a decent setup. And with film, at least you were still like that. You couldn't replicate that easily in your home. You had to string a projector up, and like they were loud, and
you're 100% right. I mean, I was just saying even with a non-halfway, literally a basic television and a sound bar, you can almost recreate.
Especially with some of the way the theaters are in disrepair now. Like, it was at one point you were paying for the state-of-the-art sound system and screen experience. And now it's like, how often do they recalibrate those theaters? Not very often.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will give my local Cinemark theaters, or no, not Cinemark. Actually, it's a privately owned place because he has Crown Point. Yeah, because it's a privately owned theater. But anyway, I will give my local theater props here in E-Town because I went to go see Jaws at the 50th anniversary, and the sound in there was really well done, and you really just enjoyed the hell out of it, just because it's just you got a nice kind of surround sort of everything, you know.
Yeah.
You heard a lot more, so you could hear the remastering really well in the theater. So yeah, there's like, if you have a good theater and they do take care of the facility itself, yeah, I mean, there's still a, it's not the same because everything's digital, but there is still some of the theatrical experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you're right though. It's kind of kissing your sister. It's not the same.
Yeah, I think I've heard it called television with strangers before, and that is kind of, like, I mean, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Television with strangers. That's great. Oh shit. But yeah, we'll get back to the comics here. But yeah, I actually was going to talk to you about the whole announcement of Netflix buying Warner Brothers. So yeah, that is extremely game changing.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of what ifs of, okay, it's one thing when Disney absorbs Hulu. It's another thing when like Netflix basically absorbs a competition, like a for real competition.
yeah, and it makes like well, for us especially, like, where does this put DC Comics, owned by Warner Brothers? Like, where does this put HBO Max? Like, I know that there's like tentative plans for the next year with all this stuff, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried with somebody like Netflix having a track record the way that they do, like, of just churning and burning television shows and movies. Like, are we still going, or like, are we ever going to see like a good DC television series ever again that gets some legs under it, that's allowed to like go? Are we going to like,
Right.
are we going to like, are we going to start seeing like a decline in the quality of the DC Warner Brothers movies, like, because the Netflix movies, like, they still have a big budget, but there's still a lot of them are still technically mid-budget movies, compared to like, your stuff like your Avatars, your Mission Impossibles or anything. They have yet to make like a huge blockbuster. But
absolutely. I mean, they've made some that people like, but maybe they watch it.
Oh yeah,
once.
I'm not saying that they haven't made good movies. They absolutely have, and they've made some turds. But it's there hasn't been that. Yeah. I don't think there's been that movie that's been like people are like, we need to watch or get this for Netflix, or we need to get Netflix for this.
The interesting thing is that Stranger Things is the only thing that would kind of take that place, because that's definitely a phenomenon and it has a big presence or wherever else. And interestingly enough, Netflix is shopping around for theaters that basically that want to play the finale on New Year's. Was it New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, yeah, one of those days. Yeah,
the finale is. Yeah, because Christmas Day is when we get the next episodes, and then basically the finale is. The finale is New Year's Eve, I think, or New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, one of the two. But anywho, so the finale is apparently at least 2 hours, if not longer. So it's could very well be a theatrical run. So our local theater here in E-Town is basically lobbying to try to get the finale to be able to play it. So I'm like, you know what? Strangely enough, even though people could have the option of watching it at home for free, going to a movie theater with a big screen and big sound, like, that's going to put some butts in seats, I think.
I mean, probably so, yeah. Like, I could see it. Like, the one thing that I thought was really cool, like, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, well, of course, this also could be like people who may not have an active Netflix account and they're piggybacking off somebody else. So I mean, there's all kinds of ways they could do this, but I mean, it feels like it could be an event, and being on a holiday, it's like it feels event like. So I think that's just kind of adding just the fun of it a little bit.
Yeah. No, I get that. Now, like, back in, I remember when the Star Trek Blu-ray seasons were getting remastered, right? Like, they would put out those one Blu-rays that had like 2 episodes edited together as a movie to kind of show you the remaster deal. And I know that they released the Best of Both Worlds episodes theatrically, and because I thought that would have been cool to see,
Oh,
but I
that's
didn't get
right.
a
They
chance
did.
to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, because it's like, 2 Star Trek: The Next Generation episodes, like in a fucking theater, like especially like 2 of the
I
best
know that would.
episodes.
Yeah, that would have
Yeah,
been fun. I know that the finale was amazing. Especially
yeah,
I'll always remember the moment where basically Riker in the other Enterprise basically comes up like vertically and it had been cloaked or something like that, and just
yeah,
like has this giant beam that comes out and destroys the other Klingon ship. You're like, whoa! It's
right,
like, why
yeah,
had they done that before?
yes,
Oh, so yeah, that was
yeah.
really awesome. Yeah. Oh god. Anywho, but yeah, but back to the Netflix thing. So yeah, of course, like there's a lot of questions about what's going to happen with James Gunn, the DCU. Does that still intact? Talking about DC TV shows, yeah, we should be like weeks away from our first trailer for the Lanterns TV series, because the Lanterns preview trailer has already been out to like certain media things. It hasn't been released to the public yet, but other people have seen it, and it
Yeah.
looks promising, as people say, because the 2 featured lanterns are Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, but there are many more of the lanterns featured throughout the series.
Okay.
And like I was at Kyle Chandler's playing Hal Jordan, and I'm not familiar with the actor who's playing Jon Stewart. He's a younger actor, a new guy to me. I've not seen him in anything. I don't know whether he's been in anything of note, but he looks like John, so I'm happy
Yeah.
about that. So yeah,
And
he's
they
got.
don't get the dude that played Diggle in the Arrowverse to be a Green Lantern to some capacity. Like they did that man dirty.
They
Like,
really did. He should
yeah,
have. We should have seen him as a lantern somewhere within. I think there was almost plans for him to be incorporated in the Superman and Lois show, and then even when they found out it got canceled, they dropped those plans. So and just focused on ending the show. So it's like, yeah,
yeah. They blue balls that tease so many times during the show, and then like to the point where he picked up a green glowing thing, and it's like,
well, they did that at the end of
it was
what
an
was that?
Arrow, I think.
Yeah, at Arrow, they did that, but they had teased him even further again within the Superman Lois show. Like he popped in an episode, and like they teased it even further. So like they were
Yeah,
really, like I said, they had plans to incorporate him in the show, and he was going to be a lantern. And it just, like I said, once they got the word the show got canned, then they dropped a lot of their side quests and basically just stayed on the main path and just wrapped the show up in that
right,
last season.
right.
So, but yeah, he would have been incorporated in the Superman and Lois show, because basically he had moved to the Diggle had moved to Metropolis. So
Oh,
that was the
okay.
whole point. That was the whole point of the thing. Like he'd moved to Metropolis, and he's like, "Oh yeah." So you got another thing, Clark. I got something else I want to talk to you about. That basically something's come up, but then Clark had to go do some stuff, and so they dropped it from there and kind of left it open that basically, that Diggle and Clark had a further conversation to have, potentially about the green glowing thing inside the box that John found.
Right.
Centering
Yeah.
myself, get down, but yes, but the whole CW network being sold to somebody else who had no intentions to keep going what the CW had, and everything getting canned in the Arrowverse and Supernatural and Riverdale and everything you loved about the old CW is gone, and now the CW that's left is a shell of its former self.
Yeah.
With TV shows that I don't know if anybody watches, so I don't hear anybody talking about anything that's airing on the CW, since put it that way. So
I know I don't watch nothing on it. So
yeah, there's nothing to watch. Though, strangely enough, there's been in my whatnot streams, we've talked a lot about Supernatural over the last couple of days.
Oh, okay.
One of my regulars is actually, he's a younger guy, and so he's starting it from the beginning. He's like, "Oh, I always kept hearing it was a great show." So I'm like, "Oh, sir."
Yeah, welcome to the jungle, man. Like it's a ride.
Yeah, so I told him, like, all right, well, here's the thing. I said, you may get bored somewhere within the first couple of seasons because it is kind of monster of the week. I said, stick with it. I said, season 3, the mythology starts to build. And by the time you get to season 4, it's a whole new ball game. Season 5, we almost got canceled. So season 5 is very heavy and feels like the end of the show. But then we have season 6, and we proceed to go on for 10 more seasons. You know, God,
Yeah.
God bless it. God bless it. We almost got canceled in 5. We made it to 15, baby. Woo!
Yeah. Supernatural is one of those shows that it's like the ratings started out low, but it was on the CW or the W. It was the
The
CW then.
WB. No,
Okay,
it
it
was
was the WB. Okay, it was
yeah.
the end of the WB while it was
Mm-hmm.
on, and so no one
Yep.
was really paying attention. So it still got to ride out like into the second and third seasons. Then the
Mm-hmm.
writer's strike happened for the third season, but then
Yep.
people were watching it and realizing, holy shit, this show's actually really good. And then it
Mm-hmm.
started to pick back up because it's one of the few
Yep.
shows that like built the ratings as it progressed instead of like having a
Yeah.
strong start and middling out.
Yeah. Well, I think too, it was one of those early things that Netflix had acquired a lot of the CW stuff, and so like during the writer's strike, people were starting to catch up. On like the first couple of seasons, I think.
Netflix did not have the first couple of seasons because they it was a big they got the seasons after season 10 if I remember correctly.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because
So how were people catching up on that one
I can tell you how I was catching it. It was because Sam's Club had the DVDs on sale for $10 a season. And me
then?
being the guy that I am, if I see 5 seasons of a TV show that seems kind of interesting and it's $50, I'm picking them all up, right?
Good
So
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought well, no, it's like they had 1, 2, 4, and 5. Didn't have the
Okay.
third season at Sam. So I bought the 4 they had. And Chuck
Yeah.
was staying over with me at the time, right? And
Mhm.
we started watching it, and then I went to work one day and came back, and he had already plowed through the second season without me. And so then that day we had to go and find a copy of the third season so that he could watch it because he was all into it. Well,
Yeah.
and then it was Katie bar the door after that. But
Katie bar the door. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So yes, we've been talking a lot about Supernatural, and like, yeah, so he survived the bugs episode. So like, well, that's not only the worst episode of the entire series, but one of the worst episodes of television. So congratulations, you survived that one.
I'm still gonna say the worst episode of television is that stupid Face on Mars episode of the X Files. Where the face on Mars starts possessing people on Earth and like Mulder and Scully have
Yeah,
to, yeah, that
yeah,
was some stupid shit.
that was some stupid shit. Yep. All right, well, back to the comics here.
Yes, back to your
So
comics. Sorry.
yeah, so oh no, well, I wanted to sidetrack talk about the Netflix Warner Brothers thing anyway because that's some big shit here. So and yeah, Tony Khan, if he's not shitting his pants right now, he should be
Yeah. Oh,
because
absolutely.
if basically
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that. You're right.
yeah, because when it comes to Netflix, if they're going to own, they're not going to own two, rights to wrestling companies because they're competing companies. That's going to be a conflict of interest and whatever else. So they're going to stay
Right.
with WWE. So AEW, bye
Yeah.
bye.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
they're
deal's
going to
gonna run out, and yeah.
they're going to have to find themselves a new home. So, and I don't know where that would be at this point.
Yeah.
Tubi's looking good
Man, Tubi's picking up a lot of traction as like the solid streaming platform for the free one because
because it,
I mean it's
because it is.
badass. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
and actually, when we get into our favorite animation, Tubi will be coming up in conversation here. So there you go.
good deal.
Anywho, so originally back to start talking about giant size criminal number one here. So Brubaker and Phillips returning to their great hard boiled crime property here because this is kind of a primer issue. So it's a new story for the old fans like myself. So it was nice to revisit the Lawless Brothers a little bit at least and get a little bit of stuff there. There's also a couple of funny cartoons because there is a streaming series that is in the can for Criminal. They're basically shopping around for where it's going to air at this point. But the
Oh.
series is done. It's going to be an anthology series, kind of going around to a few of the different stories throughout the series, but it will feature the Lawless brothers and their father, Teague, Lawless, and then, of course, you got some of the other principal characters that have been throughout some of the different criminal series. The bar, was it called the Underworld or anyway, but the bar that's basically kind of the constant in the whole series will be there, and Kadeem Harrison's playing the bartender.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, which is cool because Kadeem Harrison is also a huge fan of the book.
Nice.
So he's a fan of the series, and he gets to be in the show. I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but yeah, so criminals looking for a home. So this is basically kind of it's a primer for fans who've never read the series before. So you get a new story, and then you get kind of a profile on all the characters. But another interesting thing is there is the makings of a module of an RPG.
Okay.
They give you the basic rules. They give you the layouts. They give you the archetypes for your 4 kind of archetypes for characters you can play, and you're off to the races.
Nice.
Yep. And apparently, since dice is not being used much in the game, the kind of the device for the doing actions and stuff in the game and determining whatever else, playing cards.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep. So get yourself a deck of 52, and you can go start a game of Criminal there.
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
I think we have another RPG to try out.
Yeah.
My next selection here, and this one, I mean, I've been praising this series from Jump Street, and so I'm just going to keep praising it because it's worthy of it. Rook Exodus issue 9. This has just been a solid series, not a bad issue. Of course, at this point, the Wardens are attempting to kind of restart the world engine to kind of save the planet they are trying to survive on, essentially, and their animal friends trying to survive on. But they're coming into a few Wardens that are unbeknownst to them, that are new, which is unusual because all the Wardens, though they are connected to their animal avatars, they're all kind of have a mutual communication network. So they're all aware of each other and things like that. So like if one dies, they're aware that that their life signal is not there anymore, things like that. Basically you have Stag, which is basically kind of like a deer kind of thing, but he is Japanese and a samurai and a badass. Apparently has it in for one of the other Wardens because of something they did previously. So, that's got to be taken care of. But more importantly, the Spider Warden. And the other Warden's like, we didn't know we had a Spider Warden. But this guy's a son of a bitch. Yeah, these are not good spiders. This is not a good guy. He is clearly mentally disturbed. And so, yeah. But yeah, again, Jeff Johns writing, Fabok and Brad Anderson doing the art. You can't go wrong. It is gorgeous.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, just a great. They're like I said, 9 issues in, but just a great sci-fi series. Because we've seen, terror. Like we've seen stories about humans going to other planets and terraforming it and trying to colonize other worlds and things like that. But the modes for this story both are prescient, for our times to understand, because like we terraform this world, we start living in it, and literally 5 years later, we A, tear it apart, and B, almost commit nuclear war on each other. So in a brand new world, we're already trying to kill each other because we're fucking humans. So the things that are the constants are the animal wardens, which basically are humans that have a communication device that they communicate with a certain animal of their choosing, whether it be like a certain type of bird or, dogs or wild boar or whatever else. And they essentially communicate with the animals and kind of just keep the planet running as its normal terraforming kind of thing. And, the general ecosystem of the planet, just keep things running and happy. So they are the constant, and essentially they're the ones trying to save the planet after essentially everyone that decided when they didn't want to kill each other, they just all fucking left. So yeah, it's a very dark sci-fi series, but then you've got kind of this hope of the basically the animal lovers are all going to save the world. So there you go.
Right. Okay.
So basically, the point is, if you haven't hugged a puppy or a kitty or some kind of animal recently, you should do that. So there you go. All right, last one for our Image comics here, and I got one more indie after this one here. Dreadnought War, issue number 15 for G.I. Joe. This is the third part of the Dreadnought War. We're flying right through this thing here because they purposely are releasing this one a little faster.
Yeah, I got halfway through that damn issue, and then I left my tablet at work.
Oh,
yeah.
But Road Pig was introduced briefly in the previous issue, and now he's got a full-on debut in this issue. And Donald does not disappoint. Oh my God, Cobra Commander, whilst wearing his battle helmet, basically gets his friggin' brains bashed in.
It was beautiful, yeah.
Duke gets messed up 8 ways from Sunday as well, but they both still managed to survive barely. But yeah, we've really got old CC and Duke teaming up literally to save each other's lives. And that's the thing too, is that at this point when we introduce Road Pig, he is not a Dreadnought. But he becomes a Dreadnought by the end of the issue.
He becomes a Dreadnought very quickly by the end of the issue, especially when they find out that he's got the same penchant for grape soda and chocolate donuts.
Yes. Like, he even apparently owns a vending machine. He's like, I got a vending machine out back loaded up. So it's like, yeah. So apparently, Road Pig has found himself a home and a family, and so he's got his besties now. But
yeah, I am excited. I hope that the crush on Zorana keeps going through. Like, just like they keep playing on that, like, because that was always one of my whole favorite dynamics about Road Pig was just that weird crush he had on Zorana.
Yeah, well, that was the thing too. It was the constant between Road Pig and Donald because they both had the crush on her. Because if they keep
yeah.
If they keep the split personality intact, which they kind of sounds like they are, because he's referred to himself both as Road Pig and Donald. Or he also, when he was Road Pig, he referred to Donald, which is as himself. So
I keep forgetting the little nuances of Road Pig, but yeah.
But that was the one constant is that basically that both halves of his personality were in love with Zorana. So she could be the thing that could calm him down or do whatever they wanted because basically all she had to do was ask.
Right.
And I love it too. There's a point where like a bunch of Dreadnoughts are getting killed off when like Duke and Cobra Commander are fighting back, and Zorana's like, that's just like the cousins. Like that's not even part of the real
family. Yeah.
It's like, holy shit! Even some of the Dreadnoughts are expendable. And the line about Thrasher.
Oh yeah, Thrasher been dead. Like he's been dead the whole series, and we didn't even know it. Or we go down and give him the high five to Buzz.
It's like Buzzard's like, I've been trying to get used to my new chainsaw hand. It's been really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, except for that one time I gave a high five to Thrasher and completely forgot. Poor bastard. I really like that guy.
Yeah, it's like, I guess the Thunder Machine won't be making any appearances, but
no, it is. It's basically they made the Thunder Machine Ripper's vehicle. That's the thing.
I'm sorry. It's been like a couple of days since I've read the issue, and I've been going back and forth with the omnibus too, so it's running together.
The Energon University Ripper is the creator of the Thunder Machine. So, that's when they said that a couple of issues ago. I'm like, well, where's Thunder? Where's Thrasher at? Because the Thunder Machine's his vehicle. And then they finally reveal in that issue. It's like, Buzzer gave him the high five accidentally with the chainsaw hand.
Yeah.
It's like, that's terrible, but that's hilarious. All right. And then finally, from Bad Idea, I really like the first issue of this. And basically, the second issue gets praised too. Save Now from Bad Idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is Matt Kent's the writer. Thomas Giorello is the artist on this one. And the art is gorgeous in this, but basically you have a super team where basically you got 3 different members have their own different powers, and then Saver is kind of the head of the team essentially, and his power is essentially that he's a time traveler. But his gimmick is he can basically make save points. So like if basically if they're going off to fight a big bad guy, he does a save point right before the fight starts. And then if anybody dies, he rewinds. Hey, Johnny Jackass, don't do that thing again you did there because you die here. And so then there you go. So basically, he's able to rewind time and fix all their mistakes, except he still ages.
Oh.
Yeah. So, long career of this superhero team and all that kind of good stuff. Then they get to a point of basically an Armageddon they essentially can't stop. And so constantly Saber's been trying to go back to this point to fix it, but he just can't. So he keeps going back to the past when things were fine, except he's caused a new wrinkle. As we saw in the first issue, he impregnated his girlfriend. So now he's got a kid who he's never had before in his previous timelines. Now he's got a kid on the way. So now he's got a real impetus of saving the future, of trying, because at first he's like, I'm done with the saving. I'm getting older. This is ridiculous. Even my girlfriend started to notice how old I'm getting here. They don't understand why. But then now all of a sudden, boom, the new wrinkle. I got a kid on the way. Oh shit. I got to save the world for her or him or whatever, So there you go. So yeah, it really,
cool.
really, very cool sci-fi series with, a nice superhero bent to it, but has kind of a bit of a real world angle too. But yeah, there's like I said, the other kind of characters are kind of, passable, but the one character I think is kind of an interesting superhero character. His name is Numb, and he's kind of the strong man of the group. But his thing is basically he can't feel pain. So he just doesn't, he's like a big mountain of a man because he's a big bodybuilder kind of guy, but he just doesn't stop because nothing can unless basically it stops him permanently. So I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that rolls here. But so all right. So unless you had anything you need to discuss,
I did have a little bit, if you will indulge me for a few minutes.
Oh, of course, please.
So you know about this new hobby that you got me into with the action figures, right?
Yeah.
So,
and to recap for those who don't know, I have fully corrupted Seth when it comes to the G.I. Joe classifieds, and now he's more quickly all in than even I went. You have gone full tilt boogie.
Yeah, I've gone full tilt boogie to the point now where it's like it has actually become a second hobby of that, and toy photography has become a new fun hobby for me. So it's like I'm playing with like lighting and like dioramas and things like that, and like figure painting and all that stuff. So it's like that's been fun because it's like I'm not like I'm coming in from this like totally like as a total novice, aside from like taking random pictures with my phone, right? Like it's like I have no eye for photography at all. But it's like, just trying to learn like the basics and like dynamic poses and lighting and all this stuff. It's been fun. And, it's like I've done practice shots and everything. And a lot of it is because a lot of these toys are like the classified figures are super freaking detailed, right? So it's like, I got Mercer right here, right? And, it's like, I mean, he's just like,
let me do full screen. Oh, hang on.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah. So I got Mercer right here, who is a very detailed figure. It's like a solid sculpt. Like, say what you will about his bulk. Like, I know people were complaining that he wasn't huge, like in the Energon universe and everything. But like, super. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's classic Mercer.
Yeah, this is classic Mercer. But like, super bendy. Like, it's like he's got like mega good articulation on him and everything. Like, ankles and swivels and all this stuff, right? So it's like, okay, cool. Like these are awesome to pose and play around with because it's like you can damn near put them in any pose you want to. Like you might have dump them in some hot water to kind of loosen the plastic up a little bit because these guys can be stiff sometimes. But
yeah.
But like, so it's like, oh, okay, cool. It's a Hasbro figure, right? So like, Hasbro also has G.I. Joe. They have Marvel Legends, which then there was a really solid Deadpool that is a 6-inch that scales well with the classifieds, right? This is the maximum Deadpool, right? That's got like all all the articulations and everything, and like, and so it's like, all right, cool. It's like I'm on board here, and then but I noticed like it was kind of weird because his accessories, while they looked like the guns from G.I. Joe, or from the G.I. Joe, because like that gun that Rock and Roll has, that big machine gun. Like it's come with Tunnel Rat, and it's the same gun being reissued a couple of times. Well, Deadpool has that.
Specifically, that's an M60, by the way.
Okay, thank you. An M60. I'm terrible about my military terminology. Deadpool comes with one of those, except it is a different M60. It does not have the bipod that drops down, and the ammo box does not remove. It's all glued together in one piece.
Sweet.
Yeah, well, the kit on Deadpool 2, all of this is attached to him. Like, it's glued in the back. There's no, like, back hole. Like, you can still take the swords out and everything, right?
Okay, yeah.
It's different from the G.I. Joe classifieds, right? So, like,
yeah.
but it's like, okay, like, but it's not bad. Deadpool's still just as posable, right? But it's like an interesting decision. Well, then, what's the other big property that Hasbro has? Star Wars.
Transformers? Oh, Star Wars, yeah. Sure.
Well, for my intents and purposes, like, I'm not doing Transformers because that's a whole other fucking ball game that I can lose millions of dollars in. And yeah, but Star Wars. But it's like I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world, but it's like I like the way some of the clone troopers look. Like it's like some of the characters look cool. And then I found out that they had a really awesome Boba Fett figure.
Ooh.
This is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett deluxe figure, mind you, right? Now, yeah, he looks like $1 million, right? Right, like now the caveat to this guy is he sucks. Like, it's like, yeah. So those double jointed knees that you got on the classified in the Marvel Legends, Boba Fett don't got that. He got one knee joint. He's got a little foot. Yeah, he's got a little foot articulation. No double jointed elbows. He's got like a swivel on here and just one elbow. So it's like he cannot do the full 90-degree arm bend, right? Like, it's like he feels cheap compared to the rest of them. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, if you're a Star Wars black figure collector, I feel bad for you if this is the standard coming from something like this to, even a Marvel Legend, and then like going to something with less articulation that like now it looks highly detailed. Like I will give it that. It's like it's got like some scoring and everything, and like it's like and it's a hefty. It's got the little like some rubber like kit pieces and everything, but as a figure itself, like in comparison, it blows. Like I could still use it and everything for my purposes, but it's like I'm just it struck me as so bizarre, like the differences between like why even the leg articulation is like not there's no drop down hips in these figures as opposed to the GI Joes of the Legends.
That's crazy. Like I say, it's the same company producing all three figures, but it's a tale of three different levels of quality, basically.
Right? Yeah, and it's just it's very bizarre to me. The
thing is, thinking about it too, retail wise, you're paying the same. Basically, a Star Wars Black Series, a Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified, those are like $25 figures in stores, like just the regular non-deluxe figures.
Right, and now the G.I. Joe figures come with all kinds of accessories. The Marvel, Deadpool came with a lot of accessories. He had like 6 different sets of hands. He had a little dupe with him, another head sculpt, like
dupe.
Yeah. Very, very very good stuff. Now, this Boba Fett was deluxe, so he had like a flamethrower shootout, and he's got the backpack and like a string for his grappling hook and a gun. Yeah, but there's no hands. There's no like his accessories are very limited compared to everything else.
Crazy. That's a really good revelation, but that's weird that like I said, Hasbro's releasing. Obviously, it's got to be 3 different. Production houses are actually making these figures. There's no way the same factory is making all 3 styles of figures.
Right. I don't know. Like, I don't get why. It baffles me because it's like I can't see Star Wars collectors not caring about the articulation. Like, I mean, I guess there's not enough overlap for people to really notice. Between the 3 collectors of the 3 lines, because you don't do any Star Wars, do you? You just do G.I. Joe and so
I mean, I was big into Star Wars back in the day when I was a kid, but I just I mean, unless I find like I would love a good like Luke Skywalker and like I love him always in the black, Jedi outfit.
Yeah, yeah.
But every time they release one of those figures, like it gets gobbled up really quickly and Booby's gone.
Yeah.
So, and they've released that figure twice, in, different styles because they released him once as a black style or black series figure, and then they released him again for the Ahsoka or no, the Mandalorian series,
Yeah.
and again just gone. So I was like, by the time
Yeah.
I'm getting around to get him, I can't. So but yeah, so I have a Funko Pop of Luke, Jedi Luke, but that's about it.
Well, if yeah, as long as you're not cool, or as long as you're cool with not posing him as well as the rest of them, I would suggest getting it. But otherwise, that's the last Star Wars black figure I'm buying.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really surprising that they're because that's the thing is that anybody that is an action figure fan wants that articulation for maximum posability for
Yeah.
if you just got them displayed or like in the cases of you and many other people like doing action figure photography, which is cool as shit. Or a lot of people nowadays are doing like videos or even like stop motion
Yeah.
videos with action figure stuff. So it's like your action figures kind of like having like a bit of animation or some movement and stuff. It's like, so there's lots of people doing that sort of thing now. It's like, yeah, you want that maximum posability to be able to do whatever the hell you want with the thing. So
Right. So it's like, yeah, I'm not sure why they would go that. I'm gonna have to do some investigating on that. Maybe there is some
this is
kind of
interesting.
reason.
I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued by this.
Yeah. I do have one more thing though, and it's kind of a world debut. I told you about like my idea of making us as a custom GI Joe team, right? The Horsemen, right?
Oh hell yeah!
So
Oh.
I got the head that I needed to start with the sculpt for my figure, right? And it's like, and now
Oh
the
shit!
likeness isn't exact, right? But like, this is where we're at so far. Like,
Oh, fucking love it!
yeah, yeah. And
It's
this is so what?
I don't just say I'm loving it. This is great.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's like, I've still got to get his guns and everything. Like I've got like, weapons packs coming but like the head, this is on an Action Force body. An Action Force is another 6-inch scale line. Very high quality figures for the Action Force too. I got to give
Yeah.
them credit because it's super high posable, just like the GI Joe. It's a different kind of plastic. I think it's ABS plastic. So it's a more
Okay.
firm plastic as opposed to a rubbery one, but they have different sets of hands and very, very worth the money. But this is like, yeah, this guy in the Hawaiian shirt was a lot cheaper than the Chuckles in the Hawaiian shirt on the classified line to make a custom
Sure.
with.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be the custom me. And
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
fucking love that. And
Yeah,
it's like it's an Outback head. So you got the beard, you got the red hair. It's like
yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna try
dude,
and like
yeah.
once I get better with painting and everything, I'm gonna kind of give him some gray in the beard and the hair a little bit, like kind of pepper him up. But like in my mind's eye, like our horseman GI Joe team is like the GI Joe answer to the Dreadnoks, or the Dinobots. Like how the Transformers like the Dinobots were like the punk rock version, like
Yeah.
of the Autobots. So it's like I imagine we were kind of a shock and awe team for the Joes. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. I love it.
yeah, yeah, and it's like I'm already thinking of file cards and everything too. So yeah, I got plans for our squad.
I couldn't be more proud. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love
Yeah.
it. I've never been an action figure, but I'm excited to be one, especially for the Joe team. That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome. Love it.
exactly. Yeah, because everybody else, like, they just make up their own customs and kit bashes and everything with like different, like going online and like seeing what people do with just the parts of the classified figures that like they like swap around and make into things is really fascinating. Like people are remaking Toxo Vipers and
Oh, nice.
yeah, and like those old school ones and everything, and like just making like their own specific like Viper teams and shit like that. It's been cool.
And I gotta give it up for the Joe Classifieds once again for basically kind of like giving a nod to the fans because there's an upcoming, or he may already be out, but there's a Saw Viper that's out, but he's got two heads. There's one that's like a fully masked helmet with very much kind of the update of the classified, would kind of fit in there. But there's the old school helmet of the infamous single Saul Viper from the comics, where he's got the exposed bottom half of the face. You can see like a little bit of like the scruff of the beard, but that's the son of a bitch that was responsible for killing 11 Joes.
Yeah. Yeah,
And for real,
he is out. Yeah, that Saw Viper
oh,
is
he
out.
is out. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. He's out. Yeah. But yeah, I saw like the 2 different head sculpts and like, yes, we get the real Saw Vipers. Like that sold it for me. It's like, I want to get him. He's on my list now. So he
By the
was
way,
not previously. Yeah, he wasn't previously on my list, but now he is.
If you find a Ghost Viper, snag him for me and I will pay you back. Because I
Dig it.
want one of them sons of bitches so bad. It's got like the it's the Ghost Viper, but it's like got like the spectral dog with it that's got multiple heads. And you can
Oh
change
yeah,
the
I've seen
Viper
him.
head to be like the Ghost Wolf or the Ghost Snake, and like, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he looks cool. He looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
need me a Ghost.
you get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
and
oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Please. Yeah.
One more thing. Did you see what Hasbro has on pre-order now? They had the HasLab Hiss tank a couple of years ago, right? With all the bells and whistles,
Oh,
right?
the Arctic Kiss tank.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw like a little bit of. I haven't got to investigate it further, but I saw something about that yesterday.
Yeah, it is. It's up for pre-order now. The pre-orders close at the end of January. It is $200. It does not have. Yeah, it's expensive, but it does not have the electronics in it or anything. But it still comes with the figure. But it's still the size. It's still the size his tank. That's the thing, though. It's like I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'd have the space for it for one. But, like, yeah,
I was thinking it's the one, the his tank they released, the original one they released a few years ago for a HasLab thing. I mean, it's impressive. I mean, because you're talking your classified figures are 6-inch plus figures. So the vehicles have to match that. So it's twice the size, if not 3 times the size of like the old school his tank.
Yeah.
So your vehicles for the classifieds are much larger. That's why the Rattler's like $450 because it's like it's a big ass plane.
Yeah, the Rattler's huge. The Snowcat is going to be huge. Talk about the Rattler in the comics, like the classifieds giving the nods to the comics. It had the Rattler comes with a Wild Weasel figure that has like the helmet, the non-helmet, and the broken helmet from that issue where he had the dog fight with shit.
Who was it? Ace? Ace flew the Sky Striker. Yep.
Yeah. It was the Sky. I knew it was the Sky Striker. I just couldn't remember who the
Ace
was.
the pilot for the Sky Striker. Yeah, God, it's a badass issue. Especially too, like the end of it, like they both kind of like they essentially like they're both kind of like busted up, but they're out of ammo and they just kind of salute each other and just go back to base. Like,
it's the stalemate. Yeah. It was like Wild Weasel was always one of my favorite Cobras. And it was if people are selling the HasLab figures of him for like $150, and it's like just the figure alone would be cool to have, but it's like you need him with a Rattler, and it's like I can't. Yeah, $400 for a vehicle is just way too much. Like, yeah,
no. Oh. Well, shall we get to our topic du jour?
Yes, an hour into it. Yes, I apologize.
Well, not quite. 53 minutes into it, so we're not quite into it. But yeah, I was going to say, well, I mean, what are you apologizing for? You know how the show works. We get on sidebars, on sidebars here. So in case you all forgot what the topic du jour was, it is, what is your favorite animated or anime film? So basically, because we're including literally anything that's animated, feature length, short length, classic animation, Japanese anime, whatever, Turkish anime, whatever the case may be. If there's Turkish Star Wars, there's Turkish anime. So just saying. But yeah, anyway, so whatever the case may be, doesn't matter. All are included here. And before we get into our list here, I actually have some comments from some of our faithful here. First off, Diamond Dave Mattingly chiming in. He gave us a list of his top 10. Seth and I are only doing 5 each, so we have one top 10 list. Dave gave his whole top 10 list because that's why we love it. Number 1 on his list, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Very good one. Number 2, Into the Spider-Verse. I would also agree with that.
Okay.
Number 3, Spirited Away, which I have not seen that one, but I'm not big into current anime stuff. So
Yeah, a lot of people like Ghibli stuff, and it's like I've never watched any of it, but I know it's got a huge following.
yeah, they don't need me to be a fan of it. They're doing just fine by themselves. So yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4, Toy Story 2, which that's one people seem to like
Okay.
a lot. Number 5, and I dig this one here, Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That
Yes.
one's awesome.
Oh gosh, man. So like Eric found out about that movie like not even a couple of months ago, right? Because I was
Yeah.
talking about it at work, and he's like, "Wait a minute, did you say Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?" Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
did. And he was like, "I need to watch
Mm-hmm.
this movie right now."
Yep. And then you've since educated him on the comics as well,
Yes.
which there are currently 2 volumes of. So, but yes.
Yeah.
2 volumes. Yeah, 2 volumes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say Batman. Yeah, there was only 2 of that. For some reason, I was about to say there were 3. They might be thinking about a third one, but yeah, I
I
don't know.
think they are because they're currently have on their 3rd volume of Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles doing a crossover. So yeah, if they're on their 3rd volume of that, it's probably very likely we have a 3rd volume on the way. They haven't announced it yet, but there's been a lot of crossover stuff happening, basically with the Batman Deadpool stuff on both the Marvel and DC side. You've got the Fantastic Four and Gargoyles. You've got Elvira and Harley Quinn. Next year, we're getting a new Superman and Spider-Man crossover, and there's promise of more to come from there. So,
Okay.
yeah, the big dogs are meeting in the middle again. And things are getting exciting. So,
Right.
anyway, back to Dave's list here. Number 6, Big Hero 6, which that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Number 7, The Incredibles. Number 8, The Emperor's New Groove, which that's hilarious. It's been a long time since I went, but that was a funny one. Number 9, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
Love that
Yep.
one. And an interesting and obscure one for number 10, but 9, which is a wonderful animated film. But
Never heard of it nor seen it.
Need to check it out. It's really cool.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what the plot was, but yeah, 9's got some really cool, like it looks like almost stop motion animation, but it's still animated. But it has that kind of like raw and very tactile feel to it.
Yeah.
But very, very cool film. Like I said, I wish I remembered more about it to give you more of a plot to it without looking to Google, but I can't. So there you go. And then our other insert in here, our buddy Bill Doris chimed in
Oh
here.
yeah. What's Bill got?
Coming in from Philly. He suggested Superman Red Sun.
Okay. That's a damn good one. Yeah.
That's a solid pick because that's basically a great Elseworlds book and equally great Elseworlds adaptation for the animated film. But it's been hit and miss with the DC stuff. Like you can count it being quality, but for accuracy of an adaptation, that's where it's become hit and miss. Hush, I'm looking at you. Killing Joke, I'm looking at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 of the greatest Batman films, and you managed to fuck up both of them. Thank you.
See, I've never seen Hush, and I think it's because I watched The Killing Joke, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with these for a while, because that whole first half of Killing Joke was unneeded, and it was
They screw up they change the ending to Hush. They make Hush a different person than what he actually is, and that's
then what's the point?
Yeah. They keep telegraphing that it's Thomas Elliot. They keep faking us out a couple times, and then it turns out it's the Riddler the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, the Riddler was like the Riddler was the catalyst in the series, but he wasn't.
He wasn't the guy.
Hush. Yeah.
That was the whole thing. It's like because Batman kept thinking, "Oh, it's going to be this guy. It's going to be this guy. It's going to be this guy," and the answer was no. And then you get to revealing his childhood friend Thomas Elliot, which was basically the other side of the coin. He was not the little boy that inherited the world. He was the little boy that inherited nothing, but really wanted to be the little boy that inherited the world. And so, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh, it was just such a great twist and a turn. And yeah, the animated. So again, folks, if you have not, there's a lot of these DC animations that are popping up for free on YouTube, which is really cool because people are getting to discover them. But yeah, if you come across the 2-part for The Killing Joke, or you come across the one single solitary part for Hush, skip those.
Yeah.
Do your Uncle George a favor and skip both of those, because if you enjoyed the books, you will not enjoy the movies.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really sad that it's like the last time that Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy did like the Batman Joker voice together with The Killing Joke. And
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. Yeah, Mark Hamill came out of retirement to do The Killing Joke, and Kevin Conroy had not yet retired or passed away even,
Yeah.
and yeah, so just, two talents that were just completely wasted by the circumstances of the adaptation, but they had
Yeah.
nothing to do with it. But yeah, nonetheless, a disappointment.
Exactly.
All right, so would you like to start your top 5, sir?
I sure will. I got my first slide queued up. One of my favorite animes of all time, animated films.
Mm-hmm.
Got the poster
Yeah.
here in my man cave, Akira or Akira.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that cyberpunk like body horror, horror, sci-fi horror. Like, yeah, it's I love this movie. The animation is so fluid. It's so detailed. The music, the
It's
soundtrack to it, like.
This movie is over 40 years old and it still hits today.
Yeah, it's still like people still study this piece of animation.
Yes.
One of the misconceptions about it is you will read a lot of things that say that this was filmed, that this was all of it was 24 frames a second, which is not
Hmm.
true. It is not
Okay.
true. There, like, and the way that traditional hand drawn animation works is like that. Not all of it is 24 frames, right? Like
Okay.
sometimes, like you have like more frames for one shot, more frames or less frames for other shots, like in regarding speed and motion. But yeah, it was still animated traditionally. However, the kicker about Akira was that it was actually animated around the voice actors doing the voice work for the Japanese dub. So the lip syncing is
Interesting.
actually more accurate to the actors speaking the lines for the
Wow.
Japanese. Yeah, so because normally they just dub it all in, and
Mm-hmm.
Akira they did not. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, if you haven't seen it, watch Akira. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite movies. The manga is a stellar work. It's like 6 times as long, and it really
Yep.
fleshes out the world to it. Like you find out like the backstory for Kaneda here. Like Kaneda is like this juvenile delinquent that like loses his best friend to this government program, and then has to fight him.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
the government program is like experimenting on people and basically, basically body changing and, trying to evoke,
yeah.
all sorts of whatever else. And so, yeah, then like you said, yeah, basically the friend has to essentially take out his own friend.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, even in the manga, like it goes into the whole thing about Kaneda being one of like the kids that the Japanese system failed. Like,
Yeah.
he's like an orphan, like in a post-war. Because that's the other thing too. Like the whole thing is a catalyst. Like there's a nuclear bomb that goes off in like 1998 and destroys half
Yeah.
of Tokyo. And so like it's part of the whole Japanese thing of like cities in Japan are things that just might go away tomorrow.
Right.
Like that's a lot of like what their media was like looking at, during like the 80s and the 90s. And it was very interesting, and especially with pieces like this to be commentaries on that.
Well, I mean, and piggybacking off that, I mean, it's even still prescient today because, granted, yeah, you've got the whole history with World War II. And so basically, you've got basically the entire generation that was raised after the dropping of an atomic bomb and
Yeah.
how it changed the entire culture from there. But then, yeah, you still dealing with hurricanes and typhoons and whatever else for the island. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. It's like there
The
could be
Fukushima reactor, like, yeah.
I mean, there could be towns wiped off the map, tomorrow, and that's still in the modern day. It's
Yeah.
like that. So it's a fear and it's a worry that the Japanese still live with today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yes,
But
that's why Kira's. And that's why Akira's never been one of those that's gone away. Like it has maintained its popularity, its prominence amongst other manga and anime films and whatnot. It's still top shelf.
Yeah, it's definitely high quality, like definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I mean, because even today, like the comic adaptations of the manga are still highly sought after. They're hard to find. They're re-releasing the omnibus trades again, which it's hilarious. These things are like that thick for omnibus trades. Like they're huge, but they're also cheap as shit. They're like $25. Like
Yeah,
they're it's black and white newsprint paper, but it's like nice hardcover case for it. So it's in a nice shell.
yeah.
But yeah,
And
it's
they actually paged it left to right again, or right to left again too, I believe, because the
yep,
Dark Horse versions that were released, I have a copy of the Dark Horse versions, and they were all right to left.
yep,
But I don't know, like Dark Horse was weird with how they did manga for a while, because I know with like Blade of the Immortal, that one, like it was paged for Westerners, so it was paged right to
right,
left. But
yeah,
like the author was very adamant that they had to they had to take each panel and resituate them to be like they
hmm
couldn't just mirror it and flip it. Like
right,
that's how a lot of manga was done when it was done like that. It was mirrored and flipped. But no, they had to redo the entire page layouts for the series. I don't
yep.
know if Akira was like that with the Dark Horse ones, but I mean I've read mine and like it's fine. But yeah.
I can't remember if those were or not. But yeah, these new omnibuses that are coming out, they're the proper Japanese format, the proper manga format. So if you're used to reading manga, then yeah, these are
Yeah,
done in
you'll
the
be
proper
right at
way.
home. Yeah.
And it's reprints of the original series. So of course, trying to get some of those, the original series. Good luck.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, the last 6 issues of the OG series in English, like yeah, you're never
Yeah,
unless you wanna sell a kidney, you ain't getting them.
yeah, that's 100% here.
Yeah.
Your let's go with your second selection because we're gonna go through your five and then we're gonna go through my five here.
Oh,
So
okay, okay, yeah,
let's
we can do that. Let's do that.
yeah. Instead of the flippy floppy like we usually do, we're just gonna go through yours and then we're gonna go through mine. So because I'm
All
interested
right.
to see the dichotomy of generation here. So
Okay,
your next
okay.
one and this one should not necessarily this one should have been on my list, but this is also a very prominent one here.
Yeah, Transformers the movie. It was like yeah, this was one of my first theatrical experiences that I remember. I'll never forget Spike going, "Oh shit," and my mom almost walking out of the theater when yeah, because like yeah, they said a swear word. But like I mean, like okay. Now, a lot of people like to give this movie shit as a big like toy commercial, and
Right.
it was, don't get me wrong, it was, but like
Yeah.
when you look at it from a story perspective of like you've watched 2 seasons of the Transformers, like
Mm-hmm.
90% of them die in the first 10 minutes. Optimus
Mm-hmm.
Prime is not that far along after that. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like you're sitting there like you're going on this ride like with the rest of with the rest of the Autobots that don't know what's going on. The Decepticons are all in turmoil. Like
Yep.
this shakes you up as a kid. And
It does.
yeah. But there were things in there that it did that I really loved because what we were talking about with the Dinobots, for example. Like Optimus never gave that much of a shit about the Dinobots, right? He was always kind of a prick to him. Now,
Yeah.
Hot Rod though, Hot Rod's been cool with the Dinobots since day one. So he can have the Dinobot. Hey, Grimlock, go take care of that shit. Grimlock's like, hell yeah, Hot Rod, Rodimus, let's go do this thing. Because he
Mm-hmm.
respected the Dinobots and they dug
Yep.
on that. And
Mm-hmm.
that was an aspect that I really appreciated out of the movie. And it had just badass sequences, badass soundtrack. You know,
Oh God, yeah.
yeah, I still bop that soundtrack to this day. And yeah,
It,
Transformers the movie, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I have a playlist I regularly have when I'm doing my streams, and at least 6 songs from Transformers the movie
Yeah.
are on that
Oh yeah.
playlist. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is a jam. It is
But
an
it is a movie that also traumatized a generation because you had kids that were leaving the theater, crying because Optimus Prime died. You had people that left the theater early before finishing the movie itself.
yes.
So yeah, so I mean, it was crazy, and it actually affected the release of GI Joe the movie, which
Yes, it
was
did.
supposed to be released theatrically the same year, late. It was going to be in the fall. Like Transformers the movie was in the late spring, early summer, and then GI Joe was supposed to be in the fall.
Yeah.
Well, then all of a sudden, GI Joe gets pulled from the theatrical release after the first week of Transformers, and they do kind of a rehash on it because the original plan was Duke was going to die.
Yeah, and if you go back through, I just watched it recently on the new GI Joe kick, right? Like, and number one, like, as much as I love it,
by the way, GI Joe the movie is free on Tubi currently.
on
So
Tubi, yeah, that is where I watched it. Yeah,
yeah.
Now it's GI Joe the movie, not as strong an animated movie as Transformers. It still has its moments, but it was like, it's definitely more of a made for TV kind of deal. But you could, with that fight with Serpentor and Duke, you could totally see, like, Duke was dead. Like, they just redubbed that whole shit. Like, just because he even has like the last line of it.
Yeah, or he even like has like a last Yo Joe kind of thing. Yeah,
and
like Scarlet starts.
He's in a coma.
Yeah, and Scarlet starts crying over. Well, that's the whole thing. You don't know he's in a coma until like later in the film, and then like, oh, okay, he's in a coma and he's not dead. But it's like, it's like
I'm like 2 seconds after he does the last gasp, then he's like, oh, and then like he's in a coma. Like it's
right.
Immediately.
That's the thing. Yeah, you're right. It is immediate. Yeah, it's like, no, he's not dead. He's not dead. Yeah.
Yeah, but because I know it's like that, because that makes the next sequence of events, like, because there's still like 2 or 3 lines after that, and like General Hawk turns away and he's crying. Right.
Yeah.
And he's not crying because Duke's in a coma. He's crying because Duke was fucking dead.
Duke's dead. No, the whole thing is everything. But basically, the killing of Optimus Prime traumatizes. Because the thing is, like, they were trying to push the new guys, the new figures they were pushing for Transformers and for GI Joe.
Right.
Because after basically, was it like 3 seasons of GI Joe, then they do like the new 4th season, and it's like a new theme song, a new roster, and it's like, where's Duke and Snake Eyes? Why do we got to just deal with like these guys over here?
Right. Yeah.
So, but then they kind of learned their lesson. So they would do like flip flop episodes. Like, okay, here's one episode with the guys you love, and here's one episode with the new guys.
Yeah. Here's the episode where Falcon does crack.
Yeah.
That's,
he ain't lying.
Yeah. No. We'll get into that episode when we talk about our GI Joe and Cobra episode.
Yeah, there's a very special episode of season 4 of GI Joe where Falcon does drugs, and oh boy, I would much rather watch the Dudley doing drugs on Different Strokes than.
Oh no, Dudley got diddled. He didn't do drugs. Or no,
Dudley got.
Wait, no, Dudley might have done drugs too. I think Dudley did a lot of stupid shit.
I think Dudley. Yeah, Dudley was the fall guy for a lot of Arnold shit on Different Strokes. Yeah, so I think you're
not that it was Dudley's fault that he got diddled. I'm not trying to victim blame on
that. No. But all the bad shit happened to Dudley. So
to teach.
I guess no one wanted to diddle Gary Coleman, or I guess America wasn't ready for that. So I don't know. But Gary Cole was probably like 30 years old when he did 30 Different Strokes. Hey, what are we talking about, man?
That is true. That is wow. We're turning into an episode of Smokes and Road Beers.
Where's Bill? Come on.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Your next selection, sir, number 3.
Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah.
Yes.
Depending on the day that you ask me, I will tell you that this is the best the best Batman theatrical, or the best theatrically released Batman film.
Because
I
would not fight you on that.
Yeah. I mean, it was just that the animation was solid. It was great. Like, it was a step up from the TV show. The story itself was amazing. It was like a mix of the Batman Year 2 story, along with like a couple of other stories. But yeah, you had Mark Hamill killing it, Kevin Conroy. Like the whole vibe of this movie is just phenomenal. And they followed up with Batman Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero, which is another excellent animated Batman movie. Didn't get a theatrical release for that one, but this one, like, don't sleep on this. If you, give it a watch because it is one of the best Batman movies you will ever see.
Absolute classic,
Full stop,
100%.
bar none.
Yeah, to the point that it's so popular that in like miniseries they've done for Batman, especially the Batman Catwoman series from about 3-4 years ago, they brought Phantasm back because there was a series that was told like in 3 different time periods. So they did like a past, a modern day, and in the future. So when they were doing
Yeah,
past storylines, they managed to work Phantasm back in the story. So it's like they brought her back. So it's like, oh yeah, so it's like it's like it's that important and that popular of a story that a character that only appeared in this animated film was not from the comics previously. It's a brand new villain that they brought into the comics.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, great stuff there.
Oh yeah. This
I mean,
one,
oh yeah. I was gonna say the Batman animated series was just peak stuff anyway, and then to step it up with the Mask of the Phantasm was just like that was just amazing.
oh yeah, yeah. No, that was yeah. Batman the animated series is up there with like the Fleischer Superman cartoons as far as I'm concerned. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
This
Your neck. Oh,
this one is a little bit of a wild card. Red versus Blue, and it's an animated series, but it's machinima. Right, and,
mm-hmm.
if you were a child of the internet in the early 2000s, you might remember these as the funny Halo videos, right?
Yep.
Where it's,
Mm-hmm.
they're making stupid off-color jokes. Now, this is a little bit of a cheat because it's actually a long-running series that just ended recently, but, did you know that
Really?
this is basically ran for 15, 16 seasons, years,
Oh
right?
my god!
Now
Oh wow!
the first 5 seasons were like and they released them as, like, separate movies, like, for each season, right? So it's like an hour and a half of, like, each one. But
Yeah.
the first 5 are, like, the really comedic blood gulch stuff, right? Now from
Okay.
6 on through, it becomes like a comedic sci-fi show that actually starts to really get you, right? And so,
Oh my
like yeah, so, like, season 6 through 9 are like this like conspiracy like they're actually like the reds and blues are finding out that like they're part of this like big conspiracy where there's these other agents that are trying to kill them and they kind of bumble their way through everything, right? And so like that was a long running arc. Then there was 11 through 13. That was the chorus trilogy, right? So like that
wow!
one that's the seasons where the rubber hits the road because for 11 seasons or 10 seasons before that, you're seeing these guys just like they totally screw their way up into victory, right? Like, and
Uh
it's
huh.
comedic, but it gets you. Like there's scenes that like are really poignant. Well, in the next 3 seasons, the 11 through 13, then like word of what they've done starts to get out. So people start to look at them like they're heroes, right? And they're like, "We're a bunch of fuck ups." And now people are like they actually have to lead a revolution and a war and against an enemy. And so it's like they've got to like rally troops and actually become a military presence, right?
Oh
And
my
then that's
god!
the whole thing. Yeah, and it's like, dude, it's like this is one of those ones like as much as weird as it's gonna sound, this hit right at like I was in a really low point in my life watching this whole thing, right? And this was like a
Hmm.
depression cure, and it just kind of like it just yeah, it was like a
That's
bunch of the
awesome.
stuff in the yeah, it's like don't sleep on this show because it's hilarious, but it's like really poignant. And what they do with animation on an Xbox, like that's the other thing too. It's like 90% of it is filmed on an Xbox with some After Effects stuff later, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's dudes with controllers like fiddling with this stuff. And like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's a very low budget kind of show. It was kind
yeah,
of like yeah, we're taking a known property and kind of doing a parody of it. So they kept it very kind of DIY to
yeah,
avoid basically getting sued by Microsoft. Yeah,
yeah. Well, but then Microsoft like endorsed it and they were cool with it.
yeah.
Like,
That was the
yeah,
thing. That was the great thing too. Is like after some time passed, like yeah, they started like saying, yeah, we're good with it. You're good. So it's
yeah,
like
yeah, it is. So Yeah, don't sleep on it because yeah. Oh God, I loved Red versus Blue. That was
I mean, I
yeah.
remember some of the early stuff, but I wasn't aware that the later seasons actually started getting like heavy, like getting like real TV kind of shit. So, like that's
Oh
great.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, it turned like yeah, that turns into a military drama at points, and I mean the characters are still like comedic and everything, and there's like long running jokes and things, but like once you
There's
start to
also
get
some
into
drama too.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's like heavy drama going on, and yeah,
that's crazy. I love
yeah.
it.
Oh man, yeah, definitely check it out if you ever get the chance. And
Oh,
this one's going to be a little bit of a cheat too because it's actually a two-part episode of one
okay.
of our favorite TV shows. But this has stuck with me ever since first saw it as a kid, right? And it's the two-part GI Joe episode, Worlds Without End, right?
Yeah.
This made me a Steeler fan, right? This is why I love Steelers so much because the first part of the episode is like Steeler and the Joes are like, they're going through fighting Cobra, right? And Steeler's just
Mhm.
like he's out of it, man. He's like, we do this all the time. Like the Joes fight the Cobras fight the Joes. Nobody wins, nobody loses. It's the same shit over
Yeah.
and over and over and over again. Well, Cobra shenanigans happen and they get sucked into an alternate universe where
Mhm.
Cobra wins.
Yep.
And so like Cobra and Destro are on Mount Rushmore and like, the Dreadnoks are cops and
Yep.
like, yeah, it's like it's this whole like alternate universe where like Steeler sees what happens, sees what's happening if there's no Joes, right?
Yep.
And then like they find out what happened to the Joes. Like there's a like what who the ones that aren't MIA are KIA. And
Yep.
then Steeler finds himself and like he finds
Mhm.
Clutch and Breaker and
Oh no,
it's
no grunt. It's grunt.
or oh Grunt. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, the three their bodies like Steeler finds them and they're like, oh holy shit. Then the
Hmm.
Baroness shows up. And the
Hmm.
Baroness come to find out that the Baroness is actually like on she's one of the revolutionaries working against Cobra that was in love with Steeler, but her Steeler died.
Yep.
And so the end the it all caps out at the end of the episode where Steeler kind of like finally realizes like yeah like the Joe's got a purpose, like what I do means something, and so
Hmm.
like the three of them stay back to start the Joes
Yep.
over again. And it was like
Yep.
as a kid that episode fucked with me hard because it was like the where they found their bodies and everything and like because it's
I
like it
know.
shows it like the skeletons and everything. It was like yeah
Yeah, like it didn't seem like like any bullet holes, but yeah, you saw skeletons and dog tags, certain
yeah
stuff like that. Like you, and of course, like a little bit of like scraps of clothing, so you could tell who was who. But yeah,
yeah but
you're
it
right.
was
It was well because a lot of the things that the fans who read the Marvel comic, you were kind of used to the heaviness because that was the thing. Larry Hama did a great job, and still to this day does so, of kind of getting the fun of GI Joe, but also the realness of basically the combat and the war and the consequences of that as well. So there were
yeah
times you in the comics like real dark shit happened, characters died, things like that. So stuff you didn't get in the cartoon. So to have some of the cartoon kind of mirror the comics, it was like, whoa,
yeah.
okay.
Well, like
So
I was saying I was reading the comics again for the first time, or well, for the first time. I say like well, growing up, I got to read sporadic issues, but I never got to
yeah,
read
yeah,
like the entire run. And so
yeah.
like sitting down to actually read the first issue, and in the backup of the first issue, it's Scarlet, Snake Eyes, and Rock and Roll, and they're holding a position because they've got to get this disc back to Stalker and Flag, and
Mhm.
all them right, and or
Hot
Stalker and Hawk.
potato.
Yeah, hot potato. And like so like Scarlett's like rock and roll, take it or take this now, and rock and roll doesn't want to leave, right? Because he ain't gonna leave his buddies. And so
Yep.
Snake Eyes like turns his gun onto him. Snake Eyes is gonna kill him if he doesn't
Yep.
go. And like
Mhm.
Scarlett's like, yeah, you gotta move. And it's like so that's the whole kind of thing. Like they don't pull any punches. And it's really fascinating to see how like Larry Hama skirts like the comics code, like because it's like with like the implied killings and everything. Like it's a really
Yeah.
graphic book without like being graphic. You know,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean that's the thing I talked about earlier. With we were talking about Joe figures on the infamous Saw Viper scene. But yeah,
yeah,
there's a scene where he guns down 11 Joes, and basically you see one panel where he's above the hole where the Joes are, basically trapped in, and he's this, and then the next panel there's 11 dead bodies. So it's like you don't see the bullets entering them and the blood spurting, but basically one panel gunfire, next panel dead people. So he did a great, just masterful job of that. And still, like I said, still this day, Larry Hama is rocking the book for Image Comics. We're 320 plus issues in right now. Actually, they're planning a big anniversary for 325 because that's 25 issues in on his. That's 25 issues in on his Image run. So, yeah. And the fact that Larry has a job for as long as he wants it to keep the Joe book until he's ready to retire and stop doing all this comic book nonsense. He has a job with Image Comics and Skybound to keep doing a real American Hero.
Yeah.
It's like,
and the thing is, though, it's like I think he could leave anytime. Like, it's like as long as he wants to keep doing it, he has no intention of retiring, though.
Yeah.
But because he just has fun writing G.I. Joe. Like that's the only book he does, as far as I know.
He's done. I mean, like he had a great Wolverine run in the late '80s, early '90s. He's done tons of stuff.
Well,
matter of fact,
he's done other stuff, but the only thing now he does is G.I. Joe, I believe. Yeah.
Actually, he's got another new superhero book coming up. It's an independent publisher. I'm not familiar with them, but I was reading something about that. It's a new superhero book that he's got coming up. So he's got something different that's not G.I. Joe coming up. But like I said, you are 100% though. Like he has written tons of other stuff. Like I said, he had a great Wolverine run for a long period of time. But he is most beloved known as Joe fans as basically just being the voice of our generation and the voice of many generations of Joe fans. Still to this day, you can go to the Comic Cons, the Joe Cons, and see Larry. And the fact that he's getting, because that was the thing too with Larry, like he was always loved by the Joe fans, but he did not get the respect from Marvel itself when he did the Joe book for as long as he did. And so he's finally starting to get the industry respect that he has long deserved. And so that's what I love, that basically now, of course, it's in his later years, but it's like, come on, give the man some money. I mean, you could go up until maybe 10 years ago, you could go to any con that Larry was at and get a signature or a drawing, original, art or something like that for $20. And then one of his artist buddies, I can't remember who it was, it's just famous story where he went over to Larry's table and looked at Larry's sign at what he was, offering for signatures, stuff like that, and changed the price from $20 to $50. It's you're worth more than this, Larry.
Yeah. That's cool.
And change the price. And the Joe fans didn't bat an eye because Larry's a legend. Right. So it's he's a living legend. He, created all these characters that we know and love today and love for further generations. Thank you, Larry. Yeah. And there you go.
That is cool.
Hey, John Johnson, how you doing, sir? Good to see you, man. All right, so let's see here. Hang on, I got to do this one here. There we go. My picks on here for our favorite animated films here. I got to start from the top here, and this is my first three are going to be very obvious because I've talked about these films before on various episodes of the podcast. But we got to start with 1981's Heavy Metal.
It's a one-way ticket to midnight. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No. It's a film we both love and to this day and seen hundreds of times. The soundtrack we still love to this day. It's basically the movie that essentially launched a magazine in the States. Because even though Heavy Metal existed in France, it existed in the States before the film came out. Once the film came out, the magazine publication went through the roof because people were like, "Oh, cool! There's a magazine based on this thing that I watched at the movies while stoned out of my gourd and had a really good time with." Yeah, yes, please. Yeah, so. You have multiple styles of animation, rotoscope, early CGI, cell animation, all kinds of styles in here. Oh, yeah. It's a classic anthology. If you haven't seen this, what are you waiting for? Yeah,
Heavy Metal. Yeah.
And John says,
epic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Next up, my selection, because again, you did more recent shit. I'm doing old shit because I'm old. So there you go. 1983's Fire and Ice.
Oh
My
yeah.
first of my two Ralph Bakshi picks on here, because Ralph Bakshi was a extremely big part of my childhood. Between this film, The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, my next film I'm going to be talking about here, which should be pretty obvious what that's going to be. Those films were very big parts of my childhood, and then of course for him to transition into like the American Tail stuff that was more family friendly, and it have great success off of that at the towards the end of his career, and of course doing stuff like The Secret of Nim as well.
Right,
So it's
right.
like doing more more. Even though Secret of Nim was still a heavy film, it was a little more. It was Disney released, so it was a little more family friendly sort of thing like that. But yeah, for him to have such great artistic success in his early career, to get that kind of that prominence, that respect from the industry, and then to make his money towards the end. And of course, I believe he is still alive and well today and enjoying retirement. So
I do believe, yeah, I think you're right on that. And
um,
what?
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say this movie, interestingly enough, is also like one of the weird linchpin movies of Western animation. Is like as far as like the
Mm-hmm.
names that have worked on it, and of course, like yeah, Ralph Bakshi and Frazetta and the guy that did Eon Flux. He was
Oh
involved
yeah,
with this. Yeah, I
that's
forgot his
right.
name. Yeah. And if you remember those, like the liquid television shorts that were all weird,
Mm-hmm.
and then that show, like I love Dion Flex. That was
Yeah.
bonkers, but so much fun. But
Yeah, of
yeah,
course, Eon Flux, a French TV show, but yes, yeah, basically
yeah,
that animator worked on Fire and Ice, and this was basically a collaboration between Ralph Bakshi, who at this point had already had a couple early successes with animated films, but Fire and Ice basically was he wanted to do like a straight up fantasy film, literally based off the works of Frank Frazetta. So basically, a
yes,
lot of the characters, especially Black Wolf, featured here at the top of the poster here, were featured in other Frank Frazetta paintings. Frank may have given a name to the character, but there wasn't any backstory or anything like that, at least outside of anything that Frank may have said about the painting. But for the most
right.
part, they like there wasn't a comic back in the day or anything like that. So the movie essentially gave backstory to a lot of these Frank Frazetta works, and then of course Frazetta did some of the original sketches, did the poster as well here, so kind of gave the design for how the characters were going to look, and then of course Bakshi and his team step in. This film does also heavily feature rotoscope animation, um,
Yes,
which
beautiful
basically
rotoscoping, beautiful rotoscoping.
beautiful. And it's a style of animation you just don't see today. If you're not familiar with it, it's literally where a live action scene is filmed with actors and then you paint over, you
Yes,
animate over. And usually it's a few different, like you've seen like films like A Scanner Darkly, or what's the other
oh god,
there's
shoot.
one before Scanner Darkly, like Waking Life, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Where those movies are like cell shaded, painted over the film. Rotoscoping is a little bit of a darker pass, because you have like a black and white pass that goes over first, and then you have a color pass of animation that goes over. So it gives a lot more depth and grit to the animation than your typical cell shaded, like painting over of
yeah.
a real scene to make it look animated. So rotoscoping is much more different format there. But yeah, just an absolute favorite. The Fire Kingdom versus the Evil Ice Kingdom, and you got great battle scenes in it. You got hot chicks. There's
Oh yeah.
creatures. There's badass dudes wearing fur skins and giant axes. I mean, it just come on.
It's yeah, that yeah, you can't go wrong with Fire and Ice. That's one of the movies the 13-year-old Seth liked quite a bit too. And yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And John, literally, Golden Axe was sort of based off of Fire and Ice. The creators
Yeah.
of Golden Axe grew up on Fire and Ice, loved it, loved Frazetta stuff. They kind of wanted to actually do a game based on Frank Frazetta stuff, kind of do a Fire and Ice game, couldn't get the rights for whatever reason. So Golden Axe is essentially your Temu version of a Fire and Ice video game. So yeah, you're right on the money on that one, brother. Yeah, you're on that one there, because yes, it is definitely Golden Axe was 100% inspired by Fire and Ice. So
well, there was a good bit of Deathstalker in Golden Axe also.
Yes, don't forget Deathstalker. Yes, gotta give some love to Deathstalker too. Yeah, 100%. More of, I think, like the design almost looks a little closer to Deathstalker, but definitely both of those played huge roles in the creation of.
No, I think the more vibe came from Fire and Ice, but like a lot of like the music and like the weird story kind of came from, like, it was cribbed from Deathstalker.
Yeah, 100%. Especially the way the dude looked and held his sword, like that's fucking Deathstalker, right? Yeah, so yeah, 100%. My next selection here, going once again to the Ralph Bakshi well here, 1977's Wizards.
Yup.
This put Ralph on the map. This basically featured rotoscoping for the first time. You had essentially live action film that was animated over, especially when you get to the end of the movie, because Ralph initially had, if you've seen the film, the film is essentially you have two wizards, a good wizard and a bad wizard, warring against each other. You've got basically, servants of the bad wizard, like you got this the Sentinel here, the top character. Those are kind of his ground troopers. Well, you have one that kind of gets corrupted by the good guys and becomes the character Peace. And so he's kind of a turncoat for the bad guys, becomes a good guy, whatever else. But you have a bunch of other, good characters and some bad characters featured or whatever else. But essentially it comes down to the two main wizards who are warring against each other. And it's interesting because they play into some stuff that you would have seen in D&D, where wizards also could delve into time travel. Because if you had a powerful enough wizard, they can enter other dimensions and other time periods. So essentially in Wizards, you have these wizards who are borrowing from time periods outside their own, whether they be the future or the past.
Right.
And so you've got the big scene at the end where the evil wizard essentially summons the Third Reich. But since they ran out of budget towards the end of the movie, Ralph gets this idea of like, well, why don't we use old World War II news footage and then animate over that, and then that takes care of our big army. Bing! It's groundbreaking. No one's ever seen this shit before. It changed the fucking game, but it's because they literally ran out of money.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
It's brilliant. So it's like the whole ending of the movie is because we ran out of money. So here's an idea we had to fix that part. And it's like, you blow the country's mind with it.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, I don't want to give away all of the ending, but the good wizard gets a little bit of an upper hand on the bad wizard. And it's so awesome. But this is a very 70s movie. It's very irreverent, very rough around the edges. No punches pulled. It's got not quite a downer ending, but it's definitely got some downer themes throughout it. Sort of thing. So this is a very 70s movie, but goddamn, it's a classic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. A couple more comments here. Oh, John says, "Bam! I knew it was familiar."
Yep.
And yes, yeah, sir, you will find that we go for all the deep cuts here on the Fanatic Forum. Absolutely.
We like unearthing those hidden gems and bringing them back out so people can love them as much as we do.
Yes, we do. And God bless Tubi for having the majority of the stuff available.
God, yeah. So, yeah, for real. Do not sleep on Tubi. Tubi is a killer streaming service. Ads be damned. Tubi is worth it.
Yeah. I don't even mind the ads because it kind of feels like TV, but it's like it's a stable service. It doesn't crash on a regular basis, calling you Netflix and HBO Max. But, it's like, it is so well curated. Like you start going in the search thing under movies, the subcategories on the movies will blow your mind.
it's like Tubi is one of those. It's one of them services that like it got number one. It really kind of came on my map like when we would talk about a movie and it would be like, oh, it's on Tubi, it's on Tubi, it's on
Yep.
Tubi, and they would
Yep.
have all these deep cuts. And then like there was that when Shout dropped the 4K scan, the 4K remasters of the Hong Kong collection, like
Yeah.
like I'm watching Chinese Ghost Story on Tubi. Like, and
Yep.
it's looked better than it ever has. And it's like they're charging $20 for this on iTunes and Google. Like,
Or
and
you can watch it
like,
for free with ads. Yeah.
watch them for free with ads. Yeah. And it's the TV shows on there. Like News Radio is on there. News Radio is one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. Like, love watching News Radio. That's on Tubi. I can watch it there.
I popped over two recent 80s, 90s animation shows that just arrived in their entirety on Tubi. Centurions.
Oh, nice, nice.
And one of the most highly underrated animated series of the 1990s that's gone way underappreciated, The Pirates of Darkwater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Secret
Pirates of
Galaxy did a
Darkwater,
great video on that.
They did, but Pirates of Darkwater is like, it was a ahead of its time animated series because like a lot of other previous animated series, like oh god, I can't remember the name. It was an old anime, a Japanese anime that got imported to the States later on, like Robo Force, the Robo Champions, or something like that. But basically, it was literally a series that it wasn't like an episodic, sort of thing like that. It had a beginning, middle, and an end. So, like, if you missed an episode, you missed shit, and you had to wait for a rerun. Like, so it was a truly episodic, like things happen from one episode to the next. Though it was made for kids, it was a very grown up show and beautiful animation to it. So yeah. So like I said, just the second that if the Inhumanoid series drops on Tubi, I'm calling the president of Tubi and getting him on the show so we can just an hour and a half. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm getting these guys on here. So, all right, my next one, and this is actually a short, which you can currently find on YouTube right now. Perfect for the Halloween season, not so much for the Christmas season, but one of my absolute favorites here, the UPA animation adaptation of The Telltale Heart.
Ooh.
Yes.
That is a deep cut, man.
Dude, this was originally released by Columbia Pictures. It did have a theatrical run because it's about 20 minutes long. So it was a short that would play with other features, especially if there was other like Universal or UPA stuff like that.
Right.
But you may remember this if you saw like the original Hellboy film, and the cartoons that Hellboy was watching were the old Gerald McBoing Boing cartoons, which were produced by UPA. And so they produced like a few, like cartoon characters, but this was their most notable release they had. James Mason, James Mason, the proper voiced British actor, that sort of thing like that. He is the narrator to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it is creepy as all get out. It's a complete telling of the story with the animation that follows with it, but it is so good. Like if you just want some old school, just classic spooky stuff, but like it's accessible for the kids and grandma's maybe not going to be too freaked out or gored out by it or whatever else. Just it's free on YouTube. Check it out. It's 20 minutes well spent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and John agrees Tubi is underrated. I think Tubi's finally starting to get their flowers. The younger generation that's cutting the cord and getting past the bullshit of paying for a lot of the streaming stuff they're finding out that, oh, yeah, Tubi's the way to go.
Yeah.
So, my last official pick, and I do have one kind of honorable mention here, but my last official pick here, and my only 21st century pick here, too, by the way, 2004's The Incredibles.
Nice.
Diamond Dave Manningly picked this one, too. This is on his list. Mine's a little higher than his, because his was 6 and mine's 5. There you go. Incredibles, being a superhero and comic book fan my entire life, Incredibles is a perfect superhero movie. It is 100% accessible to anybody, the entire audience, from little Johnny to Grandpa Joe. You don't have to know a background on these characters or have read the comics or anything like that. It's 100% fresh. But also, if you read like Fantastic Four, the Justice League, stuff like that, it feels familiar in a very old school Silver Age kind of way. It's fun. It's exciting. The performances are good. The animation is top notch. It's a win-win-win all across the board.
Yeah.
The sequel is good. It's not great, but it's good. It's kind of, it doesn't really top it like some of the other Pixar movies that kind of go a little bit one further, especially like your Toy Story stuff. Yeah. So I wouldn't classify the second film as an improvement on the first, but yeah, the first is just absolutely just perfect. 100%. And you, on the other hand, are not a fan.
I mean, it's okay. Like,
I just love that. I can see the look on your face, and I can just see that just like you were just waiting for it, just waiting for it. I love it. I love it.
I mean, okay. All right. I like a lot of people like the Pixar style of animation, and like I am not a fan of it at all. Like it just like.
And I'm not a huge fan of it either. I just really like this one movie here.
Yeah, no, and it's like, and I guess that it's just like, it just bleeds over into like it wasn't my bag. It was not my.
I dig it.
I can see why people enjoyed it. It just was not a Seth movie.
Right. I dig it. And of course, you got to think too in the time frame when this came out. This is a year before the first Iron Man movie. So this is like a year before the MCU drops and says, "Hi, we're home."
True,
and then basically,
true. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I was still hungry for good superhero movies. Like I had Blade. I had V for Vendetta was okay. The Mystery Men, that was a lot of fun because that was another one kind of like a self-contained. You didn't have to know anything about them. Superhero kind of movie. It was a little funny and irreverent as well. So Mystery Men's a lot of fun. Enjoyed the hell out of that one.
I loved Mystery Men.
I mean, you can't forget, stuff like Meteor Man and Blank Man a little bit there. So you had, kind of a little fun, weirdo kind of superhero movies. But like this was just a pure superhero movie that I needed this kind of movie. And then, like I said, a year later, Robert Downey Jr. changes the world. So there you go. Yeah. My final pick here, and of course, since I mentioned this, topic to you initially, we talked about anime and whatever else, and my tastes for anime are very old school because I grew up on the classic films like Akira, Vampire Hunter D, Fist of the North Star, stuff like that, Lensman, things like that. So the idea of the series became a new thing to me, like in the 90s, basically like Bubblegum Crisis really kind of like changed the game and like, okay, this is a series that people are getting into and whatever else. And then kind of from there, it's mostly series with the occasional event film, like your Inuyasha stuff or your, K-pop demons or, Dragon Ball, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's become now the series is the norm, not the film. And I appreciate the films more. So growing up, that's kind of the anime I appreciated and not so much the series. One that is probably one of the oldest properties, if not the oldest property in Japanese anime, is Gogol 13.
Yes.
Dating back to 1968. So it is older than the beloved One Piece. It has more volumes than One Piece. And what I recently learned, because I knew there were multiple animated films, like Gogol, the professional Gogol 13 is the original film that goes back to 1983. The original anime, I should say. Yeah. There are 3 other animated films beyond this one that were released throughout the 80s and the 90s. Even so, the last animated is essentially a series that's like 50 episodes. So it's like 3 films in a 50 episode series. But what I did not know until this evening, literally 20 minutes before the show, and I know what I'm doing tonight, There are two live action films. The first one, 1973's Golgo 13.
Yeah.
Which is available on Pluto for free. The second film is from 1977, Golgo 13. What was it called? Like the lot was it the? Oh, hang on. Assignment Kowloon. That's it. Assignment Kowloon from 1977. That one stars the fucking legendary Sonny Chiba in the title role.
I thought both of them had Sonny Chiba in it.
No. The first one does not. It's a different actor. The second one, Sonny Chiba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember I don't recognize the actor in the first movie, so that may be why. But yes,
I was going to say because I did know that they were live action movies for it.
I had no idea they were. I don't know why I never looked that shit up. I knew about the comic, the manga. I knew about the animated films. I never knew they did live action. So and the Sonny Chiba movie that's on Tubi. So that's what I'm fucking doing tonight, man. Sonny Chiba nice. As Golgo 13. Yes, sir.
There you go.
Sign me up. But 1983's was the first anime film for the professional, which is weird that a manga that existed since 1968 that has had two live action films, it took 20 years for them to finally get around to doing an anime.
Yeah, that is odd.
Yeah. But this one's basically Golgo is assigned to take out a oil tycoon's son, and when he does, basically he realizes that he was set up, and now you've got basically the military from two separate countries, the United States and native Hong Kong, that are looking for Golgo 13. And so it's him against two armies, and it's fucking awesome. There is a shot that Golgo takes out, that pulls in the film, where he is essentially like 3 buildings away from his target, and he fires his gun. Basically, he has a rifle that he uses with like a special type of bullet and everything else. But essentially, he fires the bullet that goes through the other 2 buildings before it gets to its intended target. So he basically takes a shot between 3 buildings to get it. I'm like, oh, this is cool shit. So yeah, I saw this one because I remember the Nintendo game. So that's kind of what turned me on to it. Was the old top secret Golgo 13 game. And so like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then like one day in the video store, I see the anime. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And so, so I had no idea of the manga or anything like that as a kid. So I just saw the animated film, and then later on, learned about the comic and all that kind of stuff. And then, it's like, it's taken, this many years of my life to realize there were 2 live action Golgo 13 movies as well in the 70s. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
But, better late than never, I guess. So
True.
But yeah, so I know what I'm doing this evening is going to be watching Golgo 13 Assignment Kowloon. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
But both of the live action Golgo 13s, the first one's on Pluto and the Sonny Chiba one's on Tubi. Like,
nice. So you're covered.
Love it. Thank you, free streaming. I love it. So. All right. Well, that is all of my list here, and I think that's all of your stuff too, right?
Yeah, I am good. We packed this 2 hours just about.
We sure as shit did. Yeah, no, we're 8 minutes shy of 2 hours here, but yeah. You know what? We're gonna wrap it up before we do
that. Yeah. We broke in 2 hours a couple of times, but it's like not something we plan to do. We try and keep it around 90 minutes usually. Never shorter than that.
Well, unless like something bad happens, or somebody loses internet or some shit like that, or locust attack or whatever else. So, but usually, yeah. All right, brother. Well, of course, like we said at the top of the show here, the boys get to hang out on Sunday, get to watch Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair at one of our theaters in Louisville. So we can't wait for that. The movie as it was intended to be.
Yes.
So.
It'll be amazing.
Yeah. No, and the best part is that our friend Eric has never seen the movie before, so this is his first viewing.
Yes.
The way QT intended it to be, not split into two movies. Like, oh, that's beautiful. It adds a whole new level to it. That this is his first experience, and it gets to be this experience.
Yes. And I'm excited that it's got an intermission, a 15-minute intermission where we can go pee halfway through.
I know. That's like, I've never actually attended a theatrical. I've seen movies that have intermissions, like they'll put like movies back in the day, but I've never actually attended a movie that had an intermission. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. You got time for like a poop and a smoke break, you know?
Right? Yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you guys for tuning in here. John, good to see you, sir. Glad to see you come in here, man. Hope to see you next time on the show here.
Hanging.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out here. We appreciate you one and all here. So thank you, Bill and Diamond Dave, for chiming in as well with your picks. And we will see you guys next time on the old Fanatic Forum here. But in the meantime, we're going to leave you with a outro from our friends from Comic Books for Kids. Of course, our upcoming fundraiser is coming up at the end of February. So we got that looking forward to. I'm still trying to work on something special for our contribution for the show here. So we will see if that pans out. But either way, we will see you guys next time on the Fanatic Forum. TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Truth. And overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.